It's Saturday. I didn't sleep at all last night. I was up the whole night. I stayed up and then I went to the post office when they opened up. And I was the third person. And I went to go inside and the postal clerk lady starts yelling at me, "Only 2 people can be in here at a time." I'm thinking, oh, okay. So I waited. And that postal clerk is so effing slow. I have never... I mean, they joke about post office workers being slow, but this lady's ridiculous. She's not an old person either. She's maybe late 40s, maybe early 50s. I don't know. But her name's Linda. Linda. Retire early, will you, Linda? So the guy in front of me had a couple packages to send, and they had photographs in them or something. And then I had 2 or 3... Did I have 4 packages? Anyway, I had some packages. One going to my brother had some stamps on it, but I wasn't sure it was enough. One going to Scott, I filled out the customs form that they told me to fill out the last time, which was bigger than the package. Then, let's see, one of them was no problem. And then the one to Scott, that's the one that needed the customs form. I filled out the form and she bitched at me that the form was too big for the package. And I thought, well, this is what I was told to use last time. And she says, no, there's smaller forms over there. So I had to go over and fill out a whole new form. Then I get back to the window and she looked at the package for Brian, and apparently it's just slightly longer. It's not totally square. And you are supposed to put the address going this way instead of going this way. No one told me that. I don't know if it's online or not. I said, is that online? I mean, it'd be a lot easier if I knew ahead of time. And then the one going to my brother, it's post office box such and such. And she says, is this a post office box? Because it said box and then the number. I said, yes. And she goes, well, you didn't write post office on there. Or P.O. And she was going to make me leave and come back 2 or 3 different times. And the one with Brian's, I turned it over. I tried scratching out the name on one side, but I had written it in marker and covered it with tape. That thing was taped well. And she bitched about that. That was it's not orientated right. So she says, well, I can't have this. You have an address on both sides. I said, well, you told me to do it this way. Yes, but you have an address on the other side. And you can't scratch it out. You're just going to have to... And then she's like, oh, God. Probably, I don't want to deal with this woman anymore. I wasn't a problem. She's a problem. And so she takes this white tape and covers up the address that was incorrectly oriented. And she says, I'll do it this time, but I'm not supposed to. Blah, blah, blah. And then the one that had some partial postage on it needed, what was it, $1.05 more? Well, we're not supposed to do this. We're supposed to put the hand stamp thingy on there. And it's like, why isn't there a poster? There's posters on the wall for everything else. Why isn't there a poster saying what they want you to do when you're mailing a package? I don't know. I'll have to look online. But the receipt I got has a survey on it. And you bet your bottom dollar I'm going to fill out that survey. Oh my God. I always have a problem when I go to that particular post office. I didn't want to go any further. So I went there. That was the closest one. So they're done, and I came home. What did I do then? I loaded the dishwasher. The dishwasher was running. And then I put my pajamas back on, and I laid down, and I fell asleep for 2.5 hours. Boy, I was just conked out. And now I'm up, and it is in the afternoon. Where did those hours go? They go so quickly. This is the handle to the push mower I took it off so that I can clean it, sand it, and repaint it. It's raining so hard that the whole back of the backyard is nothing but little lakes. So it's going to be a while before the grass can be mowed anyway. But maybe I can fix this old feller up. I hope to get a handle on it. Ha ha.
Rupert, you're late again. Oh, I'm gonna get you.
These are the bolts and these are the nuts from the handle. They're very rusty and I'm trying to sand them off. I have the wrong kind of steel wool. I should have had a smaller gauge, a tighter gauge. This might work on the handle, but it's not working very well on the bolts or the nuts. So I don't know if you can see, just around the edges is being cleaned off. I'll get it till it's, you know, halfway decent looking. And then I put it in this, I cut off a plastic bottle. I have WD-40 oil and whatever it is. What is it? Lubricant oil, multi-use product. Huh. Well, anyway, they're going to soak in here to get a good coat of this oil on them. So to inhibit rust for the future. When I get these all soaking, then I'll be working on the handle. This one I just put in the oil. And that one has yet to be cleaned. I sanded this down about as smooth as I could get it without having a sandblaster. And my pant legs are filthy. Oh my god. And also, all this pile of dirt right here. Right there. Ugh, yucko. I use some of this Minwax Penetrates Stains and Seals on the handle. And then I use Carnauba wax, you know, car wax on it. It smells like shoe polish. But it just has to like sit and soak in. Tomorrow I think I'm going to try to paint the handle. And maybe look at the rest of the lawnmower. If it warms up a little bit. It's awfully chilly outside and it's been raining. Oh, I took a shower. That stuff. I will wear those pants again when I'm working on the rest of the lawnmower, but dirty and rusty and yeah. My mind has just been thinking overtime today. Just overtime. Let's see. Time did go seem to go pretty quickly. Kat and I had orange chicken from Trader Joe's and broccoli. Tomorrow I think I'm going to make the spaghetti sauce tomorrow, plus like potato soup and broccoli soup or something. Potato soup with a lot of Parmesan cheese powder in it. That really tastes good. You'd be surprised. What was I really going to say before I wind this up here? I don't want to take all freaking night. Yeah. I did look online for the United States Postal Service, USPS. And it does say that if you have a package or something that you, like an envelope, or like, you know, an envelope is addressed this way and not this way. There wasn't a whole lot of difference in size, so the box was almost square. But it was just, you have to really look for it. You have to dig for it, the information. It just doesn't show up. Like, here, you want to send something? Here's what you got to do. And it doesn't say anything about putting PO in front of box. So, I mean, there was one little thing, and then when I did fill out the form, and I filled out the smaller form again, she chastised me for not staying right on the line. Part of it was off the line where it says name and address and stuff. Oh, the customs people won't be able to read this. I'm like, yeah, they will. You forgot to put this, and you forgot to put that, and you need to do this, and you need to do that. Well, there is no instructions. There's nothing. How would you know? When I left there were about 10 people at least in line all the way out the building, down the sidewalk. And they had like tape on the sidewalk so you know where your social distancing is. And Kitty Cat does not like me sanding. He doesn't like the sound of sandpaper or anything. Wherever he is, oh, he's over there. Oh, yeah. I don't want to talk too long because no one will want to watch. I'll try to make it more interesting and show more of the work and less of my gob. Oh, yeah. Because I was on Match.com for a very short period of time, apparently it hooks into Facebook or whatever, and the guy found me on Facebook, another one. And he seemed to be a nice guy on Match.com. This was before I unsubscribed to Match.com. And he has a name that sounds like a regular name. And when he wanted to message me, so he starts messaging me back and forth. And the way he asks questions, he claims that he's from Georgia. Then the phone number he gave me is from Georgia. Then he claims he's from Florida. And he gave me a different phone number for WhatsApp. I'm not going to do that. That's what that guy from Saudi Arabia wanted. And this guy is always messaging me all the time. Oh, beautiful, oh, wonderful, and yeah, right. Anyway, he says, sounds like you've been all over the place. I said, well, I've traveled a little here and there. Oh, I do too. I'm in the UK right now. But he worded it weird. So I said, oh, English is not your first language. And he says, right. And then I was asking him a couple other location type questions, only very slyly. He didn't answer back. And then about 10 minutes later, bring, bring, and it's like, you're beautiful. And then this little yellow face with hearts in the eyes and all that stuff. And I'm like, no. So I turned the phone off. If I turn it back on, I'm sure I'll hear bring, bring, bring of messages that I haven't heard. I'm just going to have to block the guy. It's too bad, you know. I thought maybe I could make friends that could give me some pointers as to what to do or not to do out in California, being an older person. Just going to have to wing it if that ever happens. Oh. Okay. Shoot. Over 7 minutes. Oh my God. Upward and onward.